What's up, world, and welcome to Running Back Podcast. I'm your boy Javi.
I'm Omega Green. D-Lo here.
We got Cha-Cha in the building, double C, double H, double A, taking you all the way with the Run It Back. Fresh flavor, new recipe, so stay tuned because it's going to be real tasty.
Finger licking good.
Yeah.
All right, so who do I want to start with first today? I'm feeling. Let me close my eyes and just. No, I'm just playing. D-Lo, how you feeling?
Man, I'm kind of somber today. For real.
What?
Man, it's been a lazy week. So.
Did you just blah?
Yeah.
Okay. Not somber. Somber seems to be like a bad feeling, right?
No, somber's good. It's just relax. It's just kind of.
Okay.
It can be a
Interpreted.
little level up from
Did
sad.
I say it right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That just always-
I'm in a
I-
somber mood.
kind of like
In a-
gloomy,
let's just,
you know?
you can say down. I'm in a down mood, a somber
Oh, okay.
mood.
See, I always thought it would just sound like something that was like just a lazy
Nah,
mood. You know
when you're in
what
a somber mood, you're
Interpreted.
kind of down.
Yeah. I
Is
guess.
that how you say it?
Yeah,
Interpreted or interpretated?
What you down about?
No, I was saying it's just been a lazy week, so I thought it just sounded lazy to me. I don't know, but
Okay.
no, it's just been a chill week for real. Like, I kind of stopped doing flex as much.
Period.
Um,
That's good to hear.
Take
well,
that, Amazon.
it's kind of hurt on the pocketbook a little bit. I'm trying to figure it out.
Facts.
It's just I can't. Like, I'm not gonna wake up 3 o'clock in the morning and deal with
To
that
lose
shit.
money, yeah.
I'm not gonna deal with that. Like, they getting way too crazy out there. So I'm just.
Ooh.
So
Y'all
yeah.
heard that? Them streets is getting toxic.
No, it's not it's not the streets.
Oh,
It's the
these
station.
delivery stations is getting toxic work environment.
Yeah.
That
So
is.
yeah, it's just one, So I've just been getting to the mood of doing my work, clocking out.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we should.
All right.
So it's been a while since I had a job to where I can just worry about going to work, clocking in, clocking out. Everywhere else, I had to be that Superman type person
Yeah.
to come in and save the day. So
So you just hit a blah.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and the word for feeling kind of lazy is slacker.
Hey, hey, in high school I was a slacker. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
So
Just want to throw that out there. So,
hey, ain't nothing wrong with it.
hey, be like,
Speaking
hey,
of somebody who's not a slacker, Cha-Cha, how you feeling?
you know what?
Could never slack.
Never that. Never
Nobody's-
slack because
Nobody's
he's not
gonna
about
outwork
that.
me.
But
Facts. That's
no,
why I
you know
said
what? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest. I have been slacking, but it's not intentional. It's not intentional. It's not intentional because my computer at work is just. It's been. Oh gosh, it's been horrible. But I put in a ticket again, and they finally came. I mean, my computer was like literally shutting down. I couldn't even open up an app. It would just be buffing, and then it would just shut down and reboot. It was just constant, and so I couldn't multitask, and so I was slow motion because I knew I couldn't go 110%. But I think I got my swagger back.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, I got a new computer. Oh, I'm all over it like
Hey,
a bad
come on,
rash.
computer.
I'm all over like a bad. Yeah, so I'm happy. My work is prospering again. I'm back to where I got a lot of stuff I need to catch up on for my slacking, but with my new computer, I'll be able to catch up and do what I need to do. A whole lot of noting, but yeah, so I feel good about that.
That's what's up.
Shout out to Genesis. The rod is still doing what it's supposed
Come on,
to do.
right? Shout
Yeah,
out
the
to
Genesis, the 2023 Genesis G70 that I have is, I'm yeah.
Cha-Cha,
yeah.
I don't know about these free plugs. We gotta call Genesis and see if we can get them to sponsor us.
Right.
Well, we just right, and that's the purpose.
You giving them a permanent spot.
But guess what?
Exactly.
You know what we do? We go on their Facebook page, bam, and we share this part of the podcast and let them hear it.
Let's do it, Cha-Cha.
Yeah, okay.
It was your people.
When we're done with this, I will get on Facebook and I will find Genesis,
Okay,
and
Genesis.
then you do the rest.
Oh, period.
Now you gotta put them in a hashtag.
Yeah.
Hashtag Jenny Life.
Ever D-Lo.
Hashtag Jenny Life.
Right. There you go. There you go.
Omega.
I'm
how you
about
feeling?
y'all.
Omega, how you feeling? I felt like I said it too timidly.
I'm all right. I'm feeling a little funky here recently. Not like
gosh.
sick, but just
Make
I-
it funky.
I guess just adjusting. You know,
Allergies
still-
and sinuses and stuff.
No, literally
Oh.
just getting up early with the new schedule and
Oh, yeah, that
going
did it.
Gosh.
because going from like 410s to back to I guess what would be a regular normal week, like
5/8s.
5 days. Yeah, to where it's like the days seem a bit shorter, which you know is always cool in a way, but at the same time, like when you're used to having that extra day, like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's like
One of those days you
It's
can
different,
depress.
don't
You
it?
can depress more.
well, because I mean, now it's like there's constantly stuff happening, and whereas like having that extra day, it was like I don't know. I feel like I could arrange things better to where it was like I work these days, and then throughout these 3 days, like I can go ahead and boogie and do my other stuff I need to do.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, whereas now it's kind of like Monday through Friday. Generally, I'm just kind of like, well, tired, could get up early, and then the weekend's here, and then there's only so much time to do anything.
It
so-
always helps to have that one day throughout the week to where, like, either the Friday or the Monday that you can have off. That's why I never really liked the 5-day work week.
no.
Is because, like, if you work a 5-day work week and you only have Saturday and Sunday, where most business offices and most businesses are closed.
Yeah, how you gonna go to the doctor? How you
Yeah,
gonna do this?
like
How you gonna-
it's hard to do that.
yeah.
So it's kind of like a thing that I read that Iceland,
Good point.
they've been they adopted a 4-day 8-hour work week. They only work 36 hours, but they get paid same amount as a 40-hour work week.
Right.
And they said life is
We
more
need it.
productive, you know.
But the profession we work in, you ain't getting no time.
But
Well, the good thing is I'm in outpatients.
I mean,
Yeah.
and then again, they may do it like that to where they have another person on that shift when you're not there. So
no,
That wouldn't be so bad.
yeah,
You know.
I'm in a field where
So that's why
wellness
you're in
care
your-
matters. So
law era right now.
Yeah, pretty
going
much,
crazy,
man.
y'all. Take
Because
off,
I was
Charles.
just like, yeah, it's like tired
Take off,
after a
Charles.
long day at work, and you're just kind of like,
Yeah,
you know.
I feel that.
Yeah, but outside of that, like, yeah, I'm all right. You know, just adjusting, and then
yeah, it's a process.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then I'll be good.
yeah.
Mhm.
you get that.
But how you feeling, man?
Yeah.
I'm feeling
Crispy.
depleted but good at the same time. Like work has been working me down, like
Right.
wearing me out. Like it's handing me my ass on a platter right now.
That's why it's called
And-
work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Work, work, work.
I'm
work, work.
pushing through it. I'm working through it and I'm making waves. I'm doing what needs to be done and taking the initiative, and I'm proud of myself, but god damn. But I'm going to see Beyonce this weekend.
Hey,
so I'm
gonna
very
say,
happy
I
about
was gonna
that.
say.
I will be recording some things. I'm trying to go. I'm gonna see about doing some interviews with some people that are there,
Yes.
and bringing y'all some not live but recorded footage from the actual concert. So
Yeah.
those of you all out there that like to go to concerts or experience Beyonce, then get ready because
I'm excited for you.
she's about to bring you a whole
I'm
lot.
excited for you, Hobby.
But
Yeah.
I'm doing good. I leave tomorrow.
Where
so
is
I'm
it?
It's in Chicago.
Okay.
Oh,
Chi-town, baby.
Are you leaving like early in the morning?
Tomorrow morning, yeah, I have to go up and meet with Babe, and then we'll head out.
Bring me an Illinois magnet.
I don't know about all that because I'm broke as fuck. But I'm gonna try.
You need to
Damn,
bring.
99
You need,
cents.
you need to
I'm
bring.
gonna try.
one
Oh,
of five.
99 cents I
You
get.
know, the little gift shop magnets.
You need to bring me back some.
Souvenirs.
You need to bring me back some Garrett
A refrigerator
popcorn.
magnet.
That's too expensive. Obviously.
I'll send you the
I'm
money.
gonna try to bring y'all back some souvenirs. Y'all,
just want a magnet.
y'all are spoiling the surprise. Leave me alone.
So,
But
I was just gonna get some from my mom. That's all. She
Yeah.
loves that. She loves.
everybody's had a very different kind of week besides y'all. Y'all kind of had the same kind of blah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
A little
like
bit.
that's
my
awesome to
swagger
hear that it's
back.
not bad. But
Yeah.
I guess when we come back, we are going to dive into our first.
our main topic
Our
of the
main
day.
topic, yeah. I was gonna say our first, our main topic,
Our
our
main-
first
The first
side
leg.
of the main
Yeah,
topic.
yeah.
So
The
we'll
first
see you in a
dish.
second.
The first dish on this reel.
Come on,
Of this
Brie.
reel menu.
Come on. It's a cornbread.
Yeah. All right, America, it's time to get into our main topic. So this is I thought about this, and I've thought about this a lot in my life, and I think everybody has too. So hopefully everybody will be able to enjoy this topic and even comment. We want comments. We want to hear from you all. But my topic is, if you could go back in time and give you some advice, what advice would you give yourself? And the first bullet point I want to ask about the younger you is the high school you. The high school you. If the you of today could give yourself some advice, what would you tell the high school you?
Okay, because that's a different ball game. Because when you first was talking about it, I was gonna ask, because I thought we was going back in time. I was like, are we gonna have the current memories that we have now? Not just warning the younger self, but okay.
Like if you were face to face with the high school you, what advice would you give to you?
Okay, so let me before you go into that deal, so let me clean it up, America, because that is a good point. So I have 3 bullet points.
Okay.
You know, the high school you, the relationship you, and dealing with pressure you.
Okay.
Because the high school you is just what that is, and then the relationship you can be high school and high school and beyond, and then dealing with peer pressure you, that can be elementary school, all of that, because But I don't want to give you all any input.
Yeah.
But so there's 3 bullet points. So we're going to start with the high school you.
No.
You started.
No, just
get on out there, man.
No, there's so much.
No deep breaths.
He's the one to stick his toe in the pool and be like, "It's good."
no, because because you're talking about
It's
time
like,
travel,
ready.
and that's like a subject of mine. Like I love time travel, so
You need thought
in any way.
time because Omega's ready to go.
I'm saying.
Tell yourself. What would you tell yourself?
I mean, there's so much, like especially within, like, when I go back and tell my younger self, hey, my high school self, hey, go talk to her more.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
There you go.
Or would I go back and be like, hey, stop being dumb, actually play basketball?
Okay.
And would I go back and be like, hey, because where I went to Eastside Vocational, like take a computer class instead of taking a class with my friend.
So let's start with that. Start with that.
Yeah.
Let's start with that.
Okay.
That part.
Because that's where I met Omega.
Yeah, I was about to say, shout out
Now, was
Eastside
that-
Technical School.
Eastside Technical School.
Eastside Tech. Now, was that after high school?
You did?
Huh?
Was
No,
East-
that was in high school. That was
There you
I
go.
was my senior year.
Yeah. So
No.
start with that then.
So,
Start
but
with that.
Liberty.
I didn't go there.
I mean, I like I said, the whole basketball thing is where I would start with that when I was in freshman.
Okay.
So, because that was when I first got to Henry Clay, and I just,
Blue Devils.
well, I was kind of salty because my school spirit was still at Mason County, and then I got sent to a private Baptist boarding school where I played basketball, but wasn't competitive enough, so I stopped caring about it.
Right.
It wasn't fun for me. I lost love. So when I got to Henry Clay, like I said, I was my school spirit was at Mason County, and I was laughing because didn't get picked for the team, or when I don't know. It just,
So what did you laugh? Why did you laugh?
I was laughing because they faced Mason County in the Sweet 16, and I was like, I've been playing with them kids since I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
I could have been a good
There
weapon
you go.
for you.
That's right.
So
That's where I was going with that.
well, what I've done more with basketball, because that's when I started picking up skateboarding and stuff like that. But what I've done more with basketball, could have found that love, or is it, like I said, do I go back and try to tell myself, hey, that's your future wife over there. Stop being a little shit and go over and talk to her. Because like I said, me and Taryn, we knew each other in high school. We just didn't hang out like that.
Wasn't your time. Bro.
Yeah.
Wasn't your
So-
time because you still ended up with the prize.
Yeah, but like I said, I met Omega at Eastside. So, and I was taking a collision repair class, because my friend was like, "Hey, I've been going to East Side. It's really chill. You should go out here with me." And we hung out in the halls, and that's when I met Omega, because it was a mutual friend of ours. And but
So what would the you today tell the younger you as far as the whole basketball thing?
What would you tell them?
Yeah, you still haven't told us what.
put more work in. Like, see, at that point, like, because I blew out my knee when I was 13. And that set me back on a lot of, and I didn't get the right care that I needed for it.
And that it was so different than medical
Yeah.
medicine. The medicine
So,
was so
well, and
Yeah,
then
back
but
in the 70s and 60s.
oh,
Exactly.
God,
yeah, appreciate you.
Way downtown,
Appreciate
Bang. That's
you.
all
Walk
we say about
right
that.
But no,
into
like
that shit.
being from a small town, my mom didn't really know about the sports medicine world like that. So she took me to an orthopedic doctor in Maysville, which he specialized with arthritis and stuff like that.
Right.
He wasn't prepared to deal with an athlete.
Yeah, rehab.
Yeah. So I didn't get the rehab that I needed. I didn't get the care that I needed. And it kind of set me back. And then I got used to skipping school. I didn't get picked for the team. And I was like, that went the whole thing was if I'm not playing basketball, why am I in school?
You rebelled.
So I started skipping school more, and that's when I got sent off. And then my mom moved here to Lexington.
Right.
Gotcha.
So with the you today, tell
Tough
the
it out.
younger you.
Tough it out.
Right. Wait, no, hold on, D-Lo, dang.
Tough it out.
No, not that part. Like you said that your love was still at Mason County, Maysville,
Yeah.
Mason County. So with the you today, tell the younger you, deal with your situation and make the best of it.
Mm-hmm.
Make the best of it, because toughing it out can mean a whole lot of it's broad. To
Yeah.
me. It's broad. But we just talking about the whole basketball thing, because you had a love for basketball, but because you transferred in with Clay, the love was gone for various reasons.
Yeah.
So with the younger you, would you tell the younger you, tell me, because to me it sounds like there's some arrogance in there, because when you got cut, you laughed it off, and I was going to say that.
Yeah.
It was like,
no, it was definitely arrogance.
Oh, y'all don't know what y'all missing.
Yeah.
I could have been I was y'all secret weapon, so.
Yeah, because they and I joke about it. It's nothing like serious, but like I say, like they picked the one white boy that couldn't play.
Right.
So I was like,
Right.
But at that time, it was just like, like I would just told him like, enjoy the moment, keep the love that you have, and work harder.
Mm-hmm.
Because we grew up in a different era. We didn't grow up with the way these kids are going today, where you can just pull out your phone and make a video mixtape of yourself right there and put it on the internet.
And then you can be recruited or looked at.
Yeah. So
Definitely didn't have that.
Yeah, you actually had to work and get your name out there. Like you actually had to win. Like what Chris
You had to put
Lofton
in
did.
the work. You had to really put in the work.
Right.
Put in the work and then some.
Yeah, it was like what the Sweet 16 did with Chris Lofton and all that.
Yeah,
you know what I
you
mean?
put in the work. Like when you had to circle the calendar. I'm
Yeah.
gonna show out that day, but
Yeah.
you ain't got to worry about the schedule, because even in the off season, you can put something together and have people see this, a little pickup game.
Yeah.
But I feel like that would be in the Sports Junkie Lounge. Let's stay focused on the topic.
Yeah,
Right.
but no,
Well-
there's a lot of things.
Sports Center.
Well,
Y'all was about
that's
to dive
him
into
talking to the high school sports team.
Yeah.
Stop it, Hobby.
Y'all was
Stop it.
diving into it too deep.
No, I was just making a point,
Yeah.
because I want to be clear on what the him today, not old him.
Yeah, because I had a lot. You can ask Omega. I had a lot of arrogance when I was in high school,
right.
because I was that type of
Right.
person to be like, if you don't like me, fuck you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I had
Right.
also had my shyness too. So
Right.
But
Like, like I said, it's all about what you would tell the younger you. So,
no, yeah, stop being so arrogant.
so-
Sit down.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. Bravo. That's all we wanted. Stop being arrogant. Yeah. See how we had to get that out of in America. All right. Who's next? High school. What would you tell the high school you?
Probably, bro, like, keep going. Things aren't going to be easy.
Yes.
but to stick with it and do not trust anybody. You know, it's
well.
I can't take that personal.
I mean, not real talk, because like you, like I skipped a lot of school. It got to a point to where they told me, because they're like, yo, you're supposed to graduate in 2005, and if you take all of the classes that you need in the way in which you should, you won't graduate till 2008. So I was like, well, shit. And they were like, you got a couple options. You can do that, or you can do some after school classes and eventually transfer over to night school, which is actually right across the street from Eastside Tactical Center. And they were like, you just basically got to get a job, show proof, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, you can consolidate all your stuff and do it there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was all about that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I went and I feel like that helped me substantially because for me, part of the difficulty of high school was not the material. It was being surrounded by stupid ass people who had no interest in learning, and they interfered with your shit.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be that motherfucker to be like, hey bro, sit down, I'm trying to learn. But
Right.
it's like at the same time,
Stick a pin in that. Stick a pin in that. Stick a pin in that right there. Save that.
Oh,
That's
no.
going to be
Well,
good
yeah.
because the third bullet, dealing with peer pressure.
Yeah.
So stick a pin in that.
Oh, yeah.
That's perfect.
But,
That's perfect.
but overall, like, because I was able to seclude myself and focus on my studies, whether it be in front of a computer or sitting with books in the library and not having outside input from every single person in the class, not only did I get through all of my shit, I managed to graduate early.
There it is.
So, you know, and that was big time shit for me, because I was like, initially I had seriously considered dropping out, not because I necessarily wanted to, but I didn't see a path forward.
Right.
You know? And again, like, that's on me. You know, I skipped classes and everything, but with some of the education stuff, some of the stuff, it's typical to where it's like, oh, how am I gonna use that? And you don't see yourself using it. But to the same extent, like, to be fair, another thing I would tell myself would be like, yo, you are gonna end up using a good chunk of that shit later on. You're just gonna have to end up relearning it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, you know, that from a schooling perspective, stick with it. Shit gets rough, but you know what? It does end up working out. And then just not to trust people, because in my younger years, everybody likes to say that they want to avoid drama and everything, but when you're growing up and it's high school and you're in the throes of all different kinds of relationships and knowing all kinds of people and figuring out who you want to be and like who you want to be around and things like that, like drama just ensues sometimes. And that's really why I'm like, at that point, especially like when you're young and shit, and like I said, everybody's trying to figure out who they want to be, you can't trust not a motherfucker. You can like people all day, but don't trust nobody. Don't trust nobody. Mm-hmm. And of course, that's me being jaded. I acknowledge that, because, you know, I got my own personal situations and history and whatnot.
Yeah, of course.
But I feel like in my personal situations, that would have been the most solid thing that I can tell myself, because it'd be like, look, just, yeah, don't trust people.
Okay. Interesting. Hobby? What you got?
So I just, like, in my younger years in high school, essentially, I would go back and just tell them, there's two ways this could work. I could just go back and observe myself and watch myself do what I've done and live through it and remember it and learn the actual lessons that I was supposed to learn from it by being a third eye on it,
Mm-hmm.
and take that into what I have now. Or I could go back and I could tell myself everything that I'm going to do to hinder myself from making those mistakes.
Mm-hmm. And that's
But
what
honestly,
this is about. 'cause-
I would just like I made the mistakes that I made, but they were unknowing to me. Or they were knowing to me and I regretted it the instant I did it. But at the same time, where I am now, I wouldn't jeopardize that by going back and telling myself anything, because I'm probably on the verge to being the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. And going back and tell myself anything, any type of advice or anything like that would hinder who I am today.
Right.
So I would typically, if I went back, I would give myself advice as far as like the type of people to look out for.
Right.
Like the people that came into my life and did me wrong and then faded, or the people that came into my life and weren't really significant, but I made them bigger than they should have been and faded, because those people were irrelevant to where I am now.
There you go.
Yeah.
But
There you go.
essentially, I wouldn't tell myself shit, because I'm
See, I'd probably
Here
go.
now.
I'd probably go on the other route and tell myself about the people that made the bigger impact in my life. 'Cause
Oh, so
those
you want to fuck with the timeline?
Right.
no, like
Yeah,
like the
I
people like I said, like each one of y'all had a big impact in my life, as you know, because
Oh, thank you.
But you know what?
But-
though? That
but
kind
for
of
the
goes
better,
into
though.
Javi's point. His point is that in America. I'm trying to dissect this for you all. What it sounds like to me, what you said is you wouldn't tell yourself a thing. You wouldn't change a thing because what you went through shaped you into who you are
yes,
today.
exactly.
America,
what I'm
that's
saying.
what Javi is saying.
That's what I'm saying.
You're basically feeding his point, because if he changes some things, we might not meet.
Yeah,
Well,
none of this may not have
I
happened.
got you, Javi.
like I
got
said,
you.
it
was
all
right
depends
there.
on what you tell them. Because like
Because if I told myself what I want to tell myself, then I wouldn't be here. I'd be on TV screens. I'd be making money, like dancing. I would tell myself to go for it.
Right.
Like, do I have regrets in life? No, because I'm here now. I've met the love of my life that I think is the love of my life. I'm here making this podcast with y'all. I'm here doing this with y'all. I'm in good health. I'm making money. I'm thriving. Like, I wouldn't want to jeopardize any of what I've created now just to see what I would have been if I would have went that way. Because if I would have went back and gave myself advice and went that way, I could have turned into a drug addict because I didn't make it. I could have been a hobo. I could have worked my ass off and never been satisfied a day in my life because I went somewhere and didn't make it. Or I could have made it.
Right.
But am I willing to take that risk? Are you willing to take that risk by telling yourself advice and seeing your timeline change before your eyes? Hell, your appearance might change before your eyes. You might get Botox in your lips and fillers in your forehead and hair transplants. You never know
No,
what the consequences
Right.
of your actions
But-
are when you go back and talk in time. But Cha-Cha, what would you tell yourself?
Well,
Everybody thought,
you must know.
yeah.
The high school me. So the backstory for me is I was always in the advanced classes. I was smart. I was a smart guy, a nerdy guy. I was that guy. And I've talked about that in previous episodes. But things were simple for me. And so I didn't know how to put in the work. Because it made me a slacker. It made me a slacker because I knew I'm like, I'll do the homework later. I got this. But as I advanced in school and the advanced classes got harder, more advanced, I didn't know how to deal with that. I didn't know how to say, well shoot, I don't get it. Am I really not as smart as I thought I was?
Right.
You know, I didn't know how to go out there and say, you know what, I'm not getting it. Can you help me? Because it's always there. They always try to, especially those advanced classes, they always try to tell you, look, there's no pressure, there's no this, no that, if you need the help. But I was like, what's wrong with me? I should be able to get this. Why am I not getting this? You know, and so the older me today would tell the younger me in high school to, number one, I have two, and this is the first one, then I'm gonna get to the second one real quick, is to put in the work. Even if it's an easy A, go ahead and do the research. Go do the research, do what it requires to put together a project. Don't just say, oh, well, I got all this stuff, and wait till the last minute just to throw it together. Go ahead, even if you know it's an easy A, I would have told myself, go ahead and go through the process because you're going to need it as you advance, right? And so that's what I would have told me. And the second thing is, people don't know this, but I want to be a journalist. I want to be a journalist. I was on the newspaper staff in junior high. It's middle school now, but back in my time, it was junior high was 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. You was the big dog because in 9th grade you was a high school freshman. You were still in junior high. So I was on the newspaper staff. And then I went to Henry Clay and I was on the newspaper staff. And I did sports and I loved it. In fact, I stopped taking math and took a bunch of English classes, literature, all of that stuff. And then I transferred to Bryan Station and they didn't have, I'm a defender.
Yeah,
I graduated.
come along.
Go Defenders!
Defenders!
You know what's up.
I know.
But you know, but you know what? I
Sensational.
got a special place for the Blue Devils. Don't because I was on the Devils at.
Oh yeah, because my mother-in-law don't.
I did the sports. I wish I could find those papers that I did. I had a press pass to get into the game. Oh, I was top dog.
Because your sister wasn't.
Well, we can talk about. No, she was still in junior high. That's why she wasn't a Blue Devil.
Oh yeah.
She's younger than me. But anyway, I wish I would have. When I went to Bryan Station, and they didn't have a newspaper staff, I balled everything up and threw it in the trash. Like, well, maybe this is not for me. You know, the older me would have told myself, you know, just because there's more to journalism.
Unwind that goddamn paper and keep going.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I scare you, D-Line?
There's more to journalism.
I was so concerned what he was saying.
I'm saying because, you know, in my day, you know, cable was new. There wasn't what's out there today. It was just local news, and you watch national news after the local news. It was just regular local channels. We didn't have cable growing up
at all.
You know, but I mean, I did have it.
Bootleg,
but you know, it's not what it is today.
We got the box.
So the things out there that they have to make you see, like, you know, most of the stuff was in newspapers, like, you know, if a war was going on and there was a news anchor from ABC, there was no CNN. You know, they might replay that back. But we, you know, at that time we sleep. We out doing stuff because we in high school. But, you know, I wish I would have not been reduced to thinking that if I'm not doing newspaper reporting that I can't be a journalist.
Right.
Because if what I know now, like you said, I could have been that guy in Beirut. Or you know, just, you know, on the ground. Just on the ground. Look, all the stuff's going on over there. You got a line over here. You ain't got to worry about that cow. You ain't got to worry about the cow. You know, I'm way over here. So you know, not only to do the work, but also to have continued pursuing, you know, journalism. Because even watching CNN, MSN, I'll be like, that could have been me. I lived that like every day. So yeah, I wish I would have gave that a shot. I don't know if I would have been, but there would have been no regrets.
Fact.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so in America, that's all we have about the high school youth. So, you know, when we come back, we're gonna get into a second segment of relationship youth. And I just want the panel to know I'm not leaving it in a point of just high school. I'm just saying. The person that you would talk to give this advice to about relationship is just a younger version of you. So it doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't have to be high school. It doesn't have to be college. You know, so it's just whenever. So
a previous relationship.
Yeah. Okay. So the younger you is not limited to a specific era, America. So just think about that, and we'll be back.
And don't be talking shit.
I mean, why you gotta point me out as soon as you hit record?
All right, don't make me put y'all in a timeout. I didn't know this topic was gonna do this, but America, we back, and so we're gonna get into the next bullet point: the relationship youth. Like I said, there's no era, there's no specific 20, 30, 40 years. It's just whatever. The older you would tell the younger you. So, Javi. What would the you today tell the you back then?
Keep
as
him
it pertains
legs
to
closed.
relationships?
Keep him legs closed, but he's throw it up. Throw it away.
Throw it away.
Tell the doctor take it out. No, I'm just playing. No, I'm just joking. No, in a relationship, I would tell myself not to trust so easily. And to take the time to really understand the person that you're getting involved with. Because that person's maybe putting on a facade for you. But honestly, I wouldn't tell myself anything if I had to go back. Honestly, and because I don't want to jeopardize anything that is happening.
Well, you got to step outside the zone for a minute, because I'm asking.
That's what I'm saying.
That,
like, hypothetically, that's what I would tell myself is that.
Yes.
Yeah, just
How does it bob and weave in America?
Understand the people you're in a relationship with.
Okay.
Before you get into that deep relationship.
Yeah.
And don't trust that easily.
I feel that.
Yeah, because
Yep. Because I've been in some sticky situations.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
This
certain
last
ages
one-
you think that first one is the one.
Yeah,
and
this
it may
last
not
one less
and
than
it-
10
and-
years, honey.
Yeah, and this is just time wasted.
Baby's
Yeah,
reclaiming this lifestyle I got now. But yeah, that's my version of it.
Yeah.
What about D-Lo? What's your version of
You
it?
gotta look like you got something to say, partner.
Not really on this one, because I mean, this is one of those ones that like he was talking about earlier, that Javi was talking about earlier. Do I just let it ride? Because I mean, at the point to where I met Tam, or where me and Tamara reconnected, I was grown up enough. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Do I wish I would have met her younger? You know, but that's a sticky situation too. It's just
Right.
So, in a quick answer, I honestly don't know if I'd change a thing on that one.
So you wouldn't tell yourself anything?
I'd be the ones out there for you, because like I said, I do end up meeting. You know, I do end up marrying Tamara.
Right.
So it's just, you know, the one is out there, but you're gonna have to go down the road for it.
Right. Okay, America, I like that.
Okay. Good stuff.
Omega, you look like you've been over there like the thinker. Chin, elbow on chin, fist in the chin. I mean, it's elbow on knee. I said chin. My bad, America. I caught that. I said elbow on. Yeah. Go ahead, Omega.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how to answer that, because it could be something simple as you want to do the right thing, you know, do right by people, but not everybody will do the same by you.
Right.
And, you know,
so did you know that then? Because the order you could tell you that what you're speaking on now. Did you know what you're saying? The characteristics of that person. Did you know?
Well,
did
I guess,
did you think about that then?
I guess kind of like I said before, being able to realize that when you get into a relationship with anybody, romantically specifically, it's like you each go into it with your own ideas about what you think it should be, and what it actually is and potentially becomes if you stick together is something alternate to what both of you are likely to expect. Now, I mean, I could be wrong. Like, could be different for everybody.
Is that so? I'm trying to understand. Are you saying this is what you would tell the younger you? Or
Yes.
You just, okay.
Yes, because like when you go into it, you might think it should be like this. We're conditioned growing up like it should be like this. It should be like this. You got things to look for. You got things, you know.
You're supposed to get married, have 2 cars and a picket fence and a dog. That part.
That type shit. So everybody comes into it with their own kind of expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless. And then it comes into like thinking about a relationship and then actually being in a relationship. And
It's a game changer.
Yeah, and it's like, are you going to, resist the change that comes with it, the difficulties, the hurdles, like all that stuff. But I also do feel very much what Javi said about getting to know the person that you're going to be in the relationship with. And I don't mean that. I mean, yes, you want to know like about them generally so you can get a feel for them, but also too, it's like in my opinion, you have to find a way to become friends first. Like I think that's the big thing.
And there it is.
Because if you hop into it off of superficial shit, then it's not a recipe. It's not a recipe for success. That doesn't mean that it's impossible, but it's just like, it should be built on more,
Right.
But
good stuff. Good
yeah,
stuff.
that'd be me.
Good stuff. I like that. I like that.
So the man with the topic plan. What about you?
Relationship.
Yeah.
So
because you living your life, honey.
Right, because the things that I did as a younger me, I got rid of that dumb shit.
Period.
I got rid of that dumb shit. So, this is what I would tell. Well, once again, it's two. Don't be afraid to go for it. It's okay to be told no. It's okay to be told that you're not attracted to me. It's okay to be to possibly strike out. The older me would have told the younger me, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. You stay consistent. You stay consistent. You stay consistent in who you are. Because if you don't, these females that you're trying to get, you're going to see your life through their lenses because you're going to try to do what it takes to make them want you. And so that is what I would have told the younger me. Don't put up with that bullshit. Don't, because they call it a friend zone type stuff now. So, at the end of the day, what are you really working towards? Move on to the next one. Because, when you by yourself, you're feeling a certain kind of way, like, why am I taking myself through this? She don't really like me. I can tell she don't like me, but I'm going to hang in there because it's the one I want. Don't do it. Tell yourself, keep it pushing. Keep it pushing because you keep being you, you're going to say the right thing and the right person. It's going to be, and when you get that one, they're going to hear about it. Then there comes two, and then there comes three. That's a whole different story, Merca, how you deal with that. But what I'm saying is
put a pin in that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a whole different thing. But I'm just saying that's what I would have said. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to take an L.
So quick open-ended question for everybody before we move on to this last part of the topic. Do you think giving yourself relationship advice, because I've been sitting here thinking about it, like I feel like if you give yourself life advice, it's one thing, but do you think that giving yourself like relationship advice, that would have altered your life as well?
Yes.
As far as who you are and where you are now?
Yes.
Well,
Absolutely.
yes.
Like, because I'm going to be honest, when you were talking about in high school, you were saying, like, go and talk to her, that's going to be your future wife. Like,
that's what I wanted to get to.
Yeah, it just...
I think that's what we're
talking
about.
But like I said, like
boy, get out of my face.
Yeah, no, like I said, like me and Tam, we had.
You my brothers, get on that. I'm gonna tell your mama you over trying to talk to me. Period. You ain't even.
Here we go, Hobby's World. Yeah.
You need to get a little more weight, you little skinny thing.
Could you live with that?
So let me
time out.
Because I know that because I had somebody back then that I would have done that to, and I know that it would have been right, and I ended up dating them, and it turned out worse than it would have been if I would have did it then.
Well, see, that's what I said. Like I would have told myself, hey, that person right there down the road, that will be your person. But I would have to go
you
down.
Shot your shot if you would have told yourself that.
I would have. No, I wouldn't. Not then. Not in high school. Because it's the same thing. It's the reason why. Like
I side eye, America.
No, hold on. So when I say arrogance, like in relationship and like going to like step into like females and stuff like that, I wasn't arrogant. I was actually more shy. Because
we get that. We get that part.
And he had an Ariana Grande ponytail, so he was really hurting bitches' feelings back then.
Yes.
But-
yes.
No, I had braids back then.
Oh,
Oh boy, that should have been your Samson.
but no,
Your
I
hair should
was
have been your strip. You wearing braids.
the person she was in high school and the person I was in high school. Like there were certain conflicts that we probably wouldn't got past at that time.
But
But at the same time, it was the same reason why I didn't really
you
like.
unpacking a lot.
Huh?
I said you unpacking a lot. Keep going. No, keep going. Because every time you say something, I'm like, then I have to sit there, I'm like,
So when me and her reconnected, I was at a point to where like I was, what you see is what you get. Like me and her I started out in the friend zone. Like restarted out in the friend zone.
So basically, were you just kind of like, fuck it?
So, but I shot at that time. I shot my shot because I was like, "What I got to lose?"
Right.
I couldn't.
So you were like, "Fuck it."
Yeah. But in high school, I was not that guy. Like,
Gotcha.
like the way,
point.
like her, like I even say she's still as beautiful as she was in high school.
Right.
And I mean that. I could not step to somebody that beautiful in high school.
Period.
I could not.
Oh God! So he knows America.
right.
That's
So the
how it
older him
works.
should be telling the younger him how to be confident enough to step to her. That's what I want to say.
There you
I
go.
still don't know how I got hurt.
So what's the last part? What was the last
All
part?
right,
Peer
all right,
pressure.
all right.
Go out on me.
This is dealing with the peer pressure. Hobby's world, y'all. I'm sure it's gonna be full of laughter again, cause
No.
he's added something into this barbecue sauce today. It's not the same. It's a little different. These ribs are a little different.
Swirl
I think he put that. He got that Beyonce in him.
Yeah. He's thinking about cause Hobby's on. Yeah, he's on something, y'all.
I'm on
But
that-
when
on
we
my
get
way.
when we come back to it, you know, we're gonna be with the we're gonna be about dealing with peer pressure. If you were the you today, what would you tell the you back then how to handle peer pressure? And if you say you've never had it, you lying. So tune in. All right. So here we go. If you could go back in time and give you some advice, what advice would you give yourself? So we're at our third bullet point, America. This one is dealing with the peer pressure you. So I'm gonna let Omega go first on this one. I want to hear your point first. Dealing with the peer pressure, what would you today tell you back then about dealing with peer pressure?
Well, what?
I'm peer pressuring you.
Oh,
Do
okay,
it.
gotcha. I was about to say,
We need
okay,
that.
fine,
Can't wait to
I'll
go
tell
video.
them. You want to know? Well, for the most part, like I've always been pretty steadfast about certain things, and if I'm not gonna do something, I'm not gonna do that shit. So it's like I never really cared if people were like, "Oh, this is happening, and we're gonna do this," and blah blah blah. I would be like, "Nah," and they'd be like, "Well, what about then?" Nah, like, "Nah, I'm good," you know. And so regarding that, stick to your guns. When it comes down to it, I understand you're not always going to be in scenarios to where it's going to be easy at all, but I mean that's real talk.
Right. Do you remember when I said stick a pin in that?
Yeah,
Do you remember what you was talking about?
not at the moment.
Let me see if I can go back because I wanted to stick the.
Oh wait, no, I
on the
remember
peer
now.
pressure.
Yeah,
You
it was
talking
about
the
school.
choices that you made.
School, yeah.
No,
it
the
was,
choices that you made and the people that you probably should have just been like, nah, I shouldn't fuck with them or F with them.
Oh yeah, okay.
But you hung around, so that's what I want to be
Well,
like. Those that the choice was that a peer pressure moment for you? That's what.
Nah, it was like it was more situational type shit. It's where it was like I found myself, you know, running with people as a situational thing.
But you said you knew it was wrong, though, right?
Well,
Some of the things. I
mean, to an extent, but at the same time too, it wasn't like they peer pressured me into it. It was
Right.
like I knew what was up, and
Right.
and I had a plan. But
Right, but the peer pressure can also come in just walking away. Not them enticing you to join it, but when you realize, you know what, it's time to walk away, and you're like, but, you know,
how could you
I
walk
don't
away
know
from
how
all
they're
this
going to look
type
at me
shit?
if I do this, right?
No, it was the same type shit to where it was like when things got to a certain point, I was like, you know what, this isn't working. And honestly, like if I stick around, a lot of people are likely to get hurt. So the best thing I can do for myself and everybody, even though they'll never know or appreciate it, is to just step out.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't like it or if people try to talk shit, fuck them. Whatever. Fuck them.
There you go.
Period. This
Yeah.
episode will
And
be
so-
explicit.
Right. And so basically, that's what the older him is saying to the younger him.
Yeah, bro, stick to your guns.
I'm too short for a long conversation. Fuck 'em. Next, who we have? D-Lo. Your turn.
It's gonna be short. Don't pay attention to the background noise.
Peer pressure you.
Don't pay attention to the background noise. You do you.
Don't.
Like,
Right.
like all that peer pressureness is that's all it is, just background noise.
Mm-hmm.
Take your mind off
What
that.
kind
and
of
just do
background
you.
noise?
Just, I mean, anything. When I hit my first cigarette, to just I did a lot of things.
Different
when I was
fitting
young. Yeah,
situations.
it's
Different
just-
fitting situations.
Yeah, it's just it's like don't like. If you know that you shouldn't be doing it, just don't do it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just.
So
go
what's
do
the
you.
background noise that's keeping you in that situation?
You don't want
Because you're saying don't listen to the background noise. So what is the background noise that's keeping you there? Because you
ain't
said
trying
don't
to dive
listen
that
to
deep.
it. So what is it?
Yeah, I mean it's like
That's for a whole nother segment.
yeah, like it's
It's psychology. I mean,
like no, it's
Because
it's
I
like,
no,
like
I just
said,
I
like
don't,
playing like
he said don't listen to the background noise. But I
like
just wanna
playing
know,
like playing basketball,
like
like
what, dealing with peer pressure. What was the background noise?
what was it? Peer
like
pressure?
playing
Yes.
like playing basketball. Like I was quick to be like, all right, listen, people talking about let's go skip class and go smoke a blunt. That type
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
He's the
no,
baddest
that
ones.
was the east side. I'm talking about like
Again,
yeah,
that
like-
was me.
But it was like no, but it's like when I hit my first cigarette, I was around my brother's friends because when I was in Maysville, I hung around a lot of people that was older than me.
Okay.
I didn't start hanging around with people my age until I got to here, Lexington.
Okay.
So, but all that's background noise. Just do you.
Okay.
Like I said, keep playing basketball. Just do you. Just worry about what you got to do.
Okay. Bro, this is
What
what,
about
you came
you?
for, America. No, we need Harvey. We gotta get Harvey.
Oh yeah.
How could you forget?
Come on now, he's feeling some kind of way, America. They gonna try to throw it back at me.
It's Hobby's world. You just live in
I'm
it.
gonna let her have her moment with her ponytail.
Whatever.
No, but as far as peer pressure, there's moments that I would tell myself do it, and there's moments that I would tell myself, hey, now look how this person is. Do you want to be that person? Because there are moments of peer pressure that I feel like did really put me out of my comfort zone to the point of where it was a good thing. And then there were moments of peer pressure that put me into places that I shouldn't have been in. And I know I shouldn't have been in some of those places. Some of those places is unbeknownst to me. But the people that I was with in those unbeknownst places, I knew that they were up to no good. So it just depends on the situation. It's good or bad.
Yeah.
But I would, as far as advice on that peer pressure, I would have some things to say to myself about that. And I know that if I said those things to myself, that it would change my life. But those things, I feel like I definitely should have had somebody tell me those things. I think my life still would have turned out good. I probably still would have did a lot of the things that I did. But I think that I would have been in a different place financially, mentally, physically, and emotionally if I had some of those advices about peer pressure that I should have had.
See, that's why I said.
And I kept quiet on asking for help, so that was my fault. So as far as that goes,
Ooh,
See,
maybe that'll be another topic.
That's my
asking
problem.
for
That's
help.
my problem with peer pressure. Was mine is just
Good shit.
That's why mine was short because like a lot of my peer pressure was bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I could have cut a lot of that out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there wasn't like a rally support on like the peer pressure part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, when I
So-
say good and bad, I mean like when it comes to like the good peer pressure is like, and peer pressure to me doesn't just have to come from your peers. It could come from your parent. It could come from your grandparent. It can come from a neighbor. It's
You can
somebody-
come from the classroom.
yeah, it can come
Trying to
from
be
anywhere.
the best speller
But,
in
like,
the
when-
classroom.
when
period.
Yeah,
I-
see, I didn't have that.
A
but-
good version of peer pressure
I
for
told
me
you I
would
was
be
a nerd.
when my mom or my aunt and
I
cousin
was
were
a comic
like,
book nerd.
join that dance team. That was
Right.
good peer pressure for
Bookworm.
me.
Yeah.
But then when my, I don't know, when my cousin was like, hey, we're going over to somebody's house to see these girls. Like me, I would have been like, bro, you know you are gay. You know that you are not about to be trying to
Right.
stick your thing in nothing and reproduce nothing or try to do anything like that. So you have no point in going there.
Right.
Because at those moments are times that like I not necessarily feared for my life, but I was in danger and putting myself in situations that I knew that I shouldn't have been in.
Right.
Like going over to these people's houses, being there, staying quiet, my people's doing their business and whatever, and then us having to like jump out windows because parents come home or wake up. Like that's crazy. And I'm not the one doing anything, so why did I put myself in that situation?
Right.
Yeah.
Or like with smoking weed, like, do I think weed is a bad thing? No, not at all. Like, but at the same time, like, I think I did start too early. And even with cigarettes, like D-Lo was saying, like, peer pressure with that. I actually think that with, like, cigarettes, I pressured my older brothers to smoke cigarettes with me. So that wouldn't work because I was the actual,
It's on
like,
you.
I was the person with that. And that's a whole nother segment. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's different types of peer pressure, and for me, some of that peer pressure is good. I love that peer pressure, and not everybody gets that.
So if you had to pluck one golden nugget, what would you say?
as far as good peer pressure,
Yeah, or not good peer, like
just peer
in
pressure
a, in a
general.
nutshell
Um,
to pass on.
decipher what's good and bad peer pressure,
There you
and
go.
understand the choices you make.
Yeah,
See,
Okay.
that was my problem. I understood the choices I made. I just didn't care.
yeah. Sometimes.
Well, understand the repercussions of the choices you make.
Well,
Yeah,
but see, that's the thing, though. Yeah,
Consequences
that's
for your actions.
that's
That's what he said.
But
that's a
we
different.
get-
Yeah, no, that's real.
Cha-cha,
Because that's a different story about me.
what would you say to yourself about peer pressure?
Everything.
We over here ranting and ranting
Yeah.
and ranting, and they even got to cha-cha.
Yeah.
This is
I'm just taking all this shit.
ludicrous.
Boulder Dash.
Boulder Dash.
All right, Americans. Everything that they said, choices. I'm gonna take all of that up, and I'm gonna ball it up and make it the size of a golf ball, because this right here is gonna set off earthquakes all over the world. The older me dealing with peer pressure would tell the younger me to listen to your parents. Take
Word.
their advice, because they
I don't
knew
know about Ali.
what
I
they
just
was
play.
talking about. They
Yeah.
knew what they was talking about, because they was telling us, I'm not trying to keep you from having fun. I'm just trying to prepare you. You're growing up too fast. There's things out there that I'm just trying to prepare you for, and you just don't understand. And the young us would say, but times is different now. They went through the same thing, just a different time period. And because a lot of stuff that they said predicted could possibly happen, we have to admit happened.
As an adult, you're going through what they were going through.
Right. And now we get it, because now as we get older, we're trying to advise the young ones, and they're telling us the same thing our parents was telling us. And so that's how I know. That's how I know that, I wish I would have trusted them, because we're in that position now to where, look, okay, I'm just telling you, it's going to happen. I'm not saying I don't want it to happen, but it's going to happen. And somewhere down the line, it happens. And that's one of your I get it moments. because you just watched what your parents took you through
Yeah.
that you was not trying to believe in.
And God forbid you have kids to take you through that same thing.
Yes,
Because this is going to be a constant cycle.
Think about it. Breaking something simple as breaking curfew. Just something simple as breaking curfew. So they, they always say, but why does it matter? I was just 5 minutes late, and they're telling us I'm preparing you for the real world because the real world 5 minutes late can get you fired. I'm just trying to show you discipline.
And then it's lost 5 minutes later, get your ears whooped.
That's discipline. That's the discipline part.
Yeah.
So that's what I have.
It's the consequences of your actions.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that
if you late, it's gonna hurt.
There's been plenty, and I'm speaking for myself. There's plenty of times that I know that the parents advise us about things, things that were going to come our way if we hang out with this person. And you say, that's not me. I'll never smoke a joint. I'll never smoke a cigarette because you know your strengths. But there's people that know the game, that know how to get you because they got God. All right, and just take a small puff and and take his gum. They're not gonna smell on your breath. I went through the same. My parents told me the same thing, and your parents are telling you those people are out there, right? Right? They've done that. They've done that. They've advised us about people that and things and what they're gonna have, what traps they're gonna have you fall into, and you tell them that will never be me. Even at teenagers, we was putting ourselves on a pedestal, thinking that it could happen to us. So what do you think, America? Would you, if you could go back and tell a younger you something, would it be listen to your parents? That's mine. And I'm out.
So, we still got time on this episode. And that's why I did that finger up in the air like, oh my God, I got a good one. So, we've just said all these things that we would tell to our past selves, our high school selves, our relationship selves, and our peer pressure selves. So, and this will be real quick. Don't dive too deep, just very surface. Omega, with everything that you said that you tell your younger self, putting yourself back in that younger mindset and seeing yourself tell you that, do you think your younger self would listen to the advice?
Yes. I would have listened because I would have felt like it's important enough for you to come back in time to tell me this. So things must at least turn out somewhat good to where I want to see some of it. But to be fair, I'm also the kind of person where I'll be like, well, I'm still going to do stuff generally the same. Since I don't really know what that is, maybe every now and again I'll just kind of mix it up just a little bit.
Who didn't see that answer coming right there?
D-Lo, do you think that your younger self would take your advice?
So I would say yeah, because I've always been a sci-fi nerd. So just me coming back in time just would have been blow my mind, period. So I'd have been like, okay, what you got to say? Like, how does this pan out?
Give me the sports almanac.
Cha-Cha.
Yeah.
Do you think that your younger self would take your advice?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the older me today knows how to talk to younger people and convince them that I know what I'm talking about without them having to go through it. So me knowing how the younger me would respond, like, whatever, I'm me, I'll figure it out. I'll never go through that. The older me would have been able to tell the younger me things that have me thinking like, maybe I do need to listen to what he's saying right now. And I wouldn't block it out and I would take it in. So basically, America, in short, the older me is betting on myself, because if I don't convince me, I have nothing else left, because I'm betting on myself.
Facts. Okay. Well, for me, I'm not sure, because the younger me was very shy but kind of feisty, but not shy and kind of not feisty. Like, I was very all over the place. I was bipolar probably. I think I still kind of am.
But the older you was going to know that. The older you was going to know that.
But I don't think that I would take all of my advice, or I'd listen to it And I'd probably take it for a little bit, and then I'd just go back to the same way that I was.
Yeah, because I mean, I can't really, even like high school, like I couldn't really say things were bad because I was a chameleon, so I hung out with everybody.
Yeah.
Like it just,
I would.
high school was pretty
But-
good.
All in all, this was a good episode, y'all. I enjoyed it. Cha-cha.
Yeah.
For the topic.
Yeah. Hey.
And then next
I'm
week
always
it
in the
starts
building,
all back
America.
over. I love this new thing. We each bring a topic and
Yeah.
bring it. So
Yeah.
thank you all for listening to this week's episode of The Rip or Run It Back.
Run it back, baby.
Run it back.
I'm Javi.
I'm Omega Green.
I'm D-Lo.
Cha-Cha, he's always in the building, a.k.a. Superman, baby.
And we will catch you next week.
Peace.
Peace.